have there, but I can monitor myself live out of the TV camera as well on the bigger screen, the 19-inch. Also, the output of my transmitter is here on this little monitor in color. I don't have the brightness and everything set up.
I don't know why, Gordy, but you know, I find myself looking at that little guy more than I do the big guy.
You do. You don't like to see my face too big, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, anyway, what would you like to... Oh, sure. Harley, we want to have you in on this also. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
We'll turn it over. W0JNP, W0QQK, bye. There you are.
More hit.
Okay, just a second now. I'm going to get...
My picture right there.
let's get a few of the...
I'll have a cup of coffee with you at the same time here.
Oh my, you've got one of them too. I've still got mine in the microwave oven. Okay, how is that for TV lighting?
Your sound there on 2 meters yet there.
Okay, I'll push the button and there you are. So now we're, at least Harley is live to me and I'm talking back to him on 2 meters. And what would you like to talk about?
Well, what do you guys, when we were over on the other side, you were just jabbering about the weather and about each other and all
that's the main topic. No, we talk about how nice it is to be retired. Both of us are retired. I worked 29.5 years for Northwestern Bell, and I retired about 1.5 years ago. And the way I got into the job in the first place was I had been a ham radio operator for about 3 years before that, and at that time they were looking for somebody who was interested in radio, that they could train for a commercial radio license. And so I worked microwave for a period of time. And then I worked the toll test board, worked on long distance circuits and so forth. When I went into the Army, I worked some more microwave. But the last 20 years with Northwestern Bell, I was a outside plant engineer. And television and radio has always fascinated me. I became acquainted with Don Dresser, and we're kind of trying to coax him into getting on this. Anybody that has a video tape recorder, a setup to videotape, has a big expense out of the way. The camera costs maybe as much as the transmitter, or at least it did in my case. So since I had the camera, I just got a transceiver and got on the air that way. Now Harley, he builds from scratch, and so he's really into that part of it. I've been putting things together, but they're mostly bought and that type of thing. Oh, there's some building I do, but lately it hasn't been too much.
Sure. It's just kind of interesting to me that you guys just jabber back and forth a lot. Well, what do you find to talk about? Yeah?
Well, it's like having somebody. Yeah, that's right. Let's see, what have we got here? I've got something, well, it makes no difference. It's your elbow in my camera, but that's not the camera I'm most interested in right now anyway.
Gordon, maybe I can just ask you a general question. What do you guys talk about on days like?
We talk about what we did yesterday, what we're going to do today, and what we plan to do tomorrow, and a lot about the weather. Now, we just visit as you would visit with anybody else in your living room.
Yeah, so it's so intimate, that it's just like practically being there.
Sure.
You might tell them, Gordy, about the plans for the duplex. We didn't talk about.
Well, yes, Harley is quite an engineer, and he's digging out information from wherever he can on FM TV. And this would be up on about I got to turn the volume down here a little, up on about 1.2 gigahertz, I guess it would be. And in that way, we'd be able to communicate both ways and see each other's. It would be really nice. This way, right now, we're talking on 2 meters one way and transmitting video and audio the other way. We'd like to have video and audio going back and forth both ways.
Maybe you can tell me about just the fun you have. Why do you do this, Gordon? Tell me about that.
I think, well, I enjoy it because it's a lot of fun guys to visit with, and it's kind of fun to connect up long wires and play around with electronics. I find it interesting anyway.
And besides the electronics, you know, then you have to get into lighting and different
Sure.
things like that.
Here you have to be the director, the cameraman, the engineer, the whole bit, and it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Where do you, you've already mentioned your future plans and everything else. How long have you been doing this and why?
Well, Harley and myself and Don Galsbig from Dilworth, we started in this pretty much all at the same time. I think about 3 years.
I think it's about 3 years.
About 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't have too good success to begin with.
Do you ever get tired of it? You know, do you think, oh boy,
Well, we
Get kind of tired of
we get tired of each other's, not tired of it. So we shut it off for a while, but we get rejuvenated quite quickly and get back into it about the next day again. So, sometimes we'll sit on here for about a couple of hours at a time, and then every 10 minutes we have to give our call letters, and we have to do that right now. This is W0QQK Amateur TV at Ulen. Now we can go back to our interview.
Yeah. What, you know, you've got to set up to a mobile unit. Tell us about that. You know, that's kind of
Well, I'm
kind of
using
fun.
the same equipment as I'm using right now to transmit to Harley, and it's a little 1-watt transmitter with a converter, a receiver built right into it, and that receiver puts a signal into channel 3, so I can feed it into any type of a TV set, whether it's black and white or color, and that becomes the receiver. And from the 1-watt transmitter strip, then it goes into an amplifier. It's a 50-watt amplifier, but I'm getting about 20 watts of RF out as far as video.
Do you see a day when a lot of people will be involved in this?
I think so.
Tell me
I
about
think
that.
so. Well, I don't know. It is starting to catch on. I know there's a lot of it being done in the Los Angeles area, Chicago, New York, I'm sure, and the bigger places. But I think Harley and Don and myself are about the only ones up in this area. I think there are some maybe up along the Canadian border, maybe up around Minot or something.
We have, there's a fellow at Warren, Minnesota,
Yeah.
Yes.
and Peace River Falls also.
Yes.
That's not very many.
Not
guys,
many
though.
compared to the rest of ham radio.
No.
Yeah. So do you think that eventually more and more people in this area will be interested?
Oh, I kind of think so. Maybe with this little bit you're going to do on WDAY, it could be.
You know, there's going to be some folks out there, Gordon, that are going to say, hey, this is not a hobby, this is an obsession with you guys. You know?
Well, I think golfing can be an obsession. I think fishing and all of the other hobbies, it's a lot of fun for us. And
Gordy and I don't fish and hunt.
that's right. But we do this. I'm interested in this, flying, photography, and those things, and sometimes you can do all of these things at one time. I'd like to buy myself another airplane, go up in the air and send a few video pictures from the air. You could really get some range that way. So.
Excellent. Anything, Terry? Super. That'll...